Welcome everyone to the Hungarian STEM Platform Conference at Óbudai University. We are excited to have participants here in person and online from various countries. The conference recordings will also be shared for those unable to join us live. Yesterday we had a close meeting with the STEM Coalition and the Ministry of Culture and Innovation. Today we are honored to welcome representatives from Sweden, Norway, Finland, Netherlands, Ukraine, Brussels, Spain, Bulgaria, Serbia, Uzbekistan, Iraq, and of course from Hungary. So, hello everyone. This is event a great opportunity to share knowledge and build a partnership for the future of STEAM education in Hungary and beyond. It's a privilege to introduce our opening speaker, Professor Dr. Levente Kovács, Rector of Óbudai University, and the driving force behind the Hungarian STEM platform. As a regional leader, he has championed the advancement of STEM or STEAM education, positioning the university as a center of innovation and collaboration. Under his guidance, Óbudai University has launched transformative initiatives that inspire and equip the next generation of creators, problem solvers, and leaders. Please welcome Professor Dr. Levente Kovács.
Thank you very much, Zoltán, for the kind introduction, and I would like to welcome all of you at Óbudai University in Hungary. Just before Christmas, it's also a possibility just to explore the beautiful Budapest, also the Christmas market, and also other possibilities. But first, of course, Óbudai University. So welcome once again for all of you, dear representatives. Actually, as Óbudai University, a young university, we are a young teenager with 15 years old, of course, with a long tradition, more than 140 years of different higher institutions. What we were in the past as a college, as a polytech, and but from 2010 university, we paid all the time a very big attention about how can we educate the young students in order to become future engineers. And actually the statistics are with us, because every third student today who's enrolled as a fresh engineer is coming out from Óbudai University in Hungary. So this gives a big responsibility as well. And from this point of view, the next generation, the new generation actually, big questions are somehow how to motivate them and how to guide them to the STEM direction. And from this point of view, actually, we just started years ago to have some initiatives, first at the Óbudai University level, then at Hungarian level, and at Central European level as well. This is how today we culminated that we are able to discuss not only as a university but also as an entity, and this is why this conference was organized. Our vision is to as a university, to create a unique model in Hungary regarding an entrepreneur university. And of course, if we are trying to invest, then the first question is that, of course, how should we guide the students, because the first investments are the students themselves. And from this point of view, we really believe that just starting the guidance of a young guy or girl starts from the idea that we should start much more from the beginning, before he or she will be a concrete student at the university. And this is why we just started different developments and different programs in Hungary, first with the small Minecraft camp. Then we just started to create our individualized summer universities for high school students. We started to also to guide students from kindergarten. In the meantime, Óbudai University created its own kindergarten as well. So we are just not only believing that we can do important steps forward in Hungary from the STEM point of view, but also we are doing by our own as a pilot program on different levels these ideas as well. Also, we just started to be involved much more in the national talent programs, and of course that's a testimony of your representation today at our university, that we are also in different Horizon programs as well, where although we are a model change university and from the EU point of view, unfortunately, we are left out from the possibilities of Erasmus and H2020, at least from financial point of view. But from legislative point of view, this is not the case. This is why we can bid and we can represent ourselves. And as you will see also the programs throughout the whole day, we are not better or not worse than another European university. So we truly believe that politics should stay out from education level. Because education is the future of the whole Europe, and this is why Europe became so powerful continent in the last centuries, because somehow the politics avoided the educational part. Just remember to Erasmus or to Leonardo da Vinci, who the latter in Italy, where different small federal states were in Italy, but he crossed all the borders in order to create something in Florence or in Rome or in Milano. And on that situation, this is what we believe as well, that science is without borders. So from that point of view, actually, as I mentioned we started our programs on STEM platform as well. Today we are leading Hungary in the STEM coalition idea. And in the meantime, also, we are playing a quite important role in the whole Central European region as well. But we would like to learn, and that's why actually I'm glad that I can see you all today here, just to share your thoughts from your local perspective, how you are doing the STEM platform on different levels, how can we learn from you. What are the best practices and how can we develop together something what we believe that it's not good only for Hungary, but it will be good for the whole Europe, because we are somehow responsible to educate all the students who are working and who are learning in this continent. So by that situation, actually, once again, I would like to wish you a very productive day. I hope you will enjoy Budapest, you will enjoy staying with us at our university, and I wish you all the best, and I hope that this is not one conference on what we are together, but we will have several others in the future, near future, when we can see you again in Hungary or on different other occasions. Thank you very much for attention.
Thank you, Mr. Rector, for the setting and inspiring tune of the day. Your vision, collaboration, and innovation is a strong foundation for today's discussions. Rector Kovács will now leave another commitment. The plenary session is officially open. Our first keynote speaker, Mr. László Bódis, Deputy State Secretary for Innovation. He will discuss the Hungarian government's R&D strategies and their role in advancing STEM and STEAM education. Please welcome Mr. László Bódis.
Thank you. Warmly welcome every one of you here in Budapest, at Óbudai University, which is in fact, Mr. Rector didn't mention, but has a huge development in the TAG rankings this year, because last year Óbudai University was ranked among the top 1,000 to 1,200 universities globally. Now it's between 600 and 800. So congratulations for the very huge development of this leading university in Hungary. And just a side note, this development is strongly connected to the new operating model of the Hungarian universities. Óbudai University is not just the only one who developed significantly in these QS, TAG, and other global university rankings, but other universities such as Semmelweis or other universities as well. So, but now it's not the main topic of ourselves for today, but I would like to give you some general overview of how we see the Hungarian research and innovation landscape, and what measures did we take or will take in order to accelerate this ecosystem. Three short topics: where are we now, what our challenges are, and what is our strategy. And I will just want to highlight a new model for accelerating technology transfer, not just in our universities, but in our research institutions as well. So let's get to it. As you know, Hungary's population is less than 10 million now. We're located at the center of Europe with 93,000 square kilometers area. So basically Hungary is an open and small economy in global terms. But as you can see on the chart, that our global GDP rank in terms of per capita is 47. And we have 12 universities among the top 5% globally. You can see that in 2019, so basically 5 years ago, we only had 7 of them. So our universities are on a very good track in our opinion, and we have very strong foundations in science. As you can see on the chart, we have 12 Nobel laureates, Hungarian Nobel laureates who were born in Hungary, and actually we have 18 Hungarian Nobel laureates with Hungarian descent. Basically, and that means that Hungary's rank in Nobel laureates per capita is 11 globally. And you can see, and you may all know, that 2 Hungarian scientists received the Nobel Prize last year, Ferenc Krausz in physics and Katalin Karikó in medicine. We also obviously track those global indexes that are measuring the different countries' performance in research and innovation. In the Global Innovation Index, which measures more than 130 countries, Hungary's current rank is 36. Our European rank is 21. But as you can see, for example, in the Economic Complexity Index, which is an index that is developed by the MIT in the US, our rank is 14. That index is trying to look at the complexity of the export structure of an economy. And as you can see as well, that the International IP Index, which also covers a lot of countries, Hungary's rank is 15. So we have good foundations in science and innovation. I would like to highlight for you 4 results from the last couple of years in terms of research and innovation. If you look at the European Innovation Scoreboard, that is an index that is developed by the European Commission. I also already mentioned that Hungary's rank is 21, but as you can see, if we compare our own performance to ourselves, in 2017, Hungary's score has been improving. It has improved by almost 9 percentage points. If we look at the development in R&D funding, basically, in Hungarian forints, compared to the year 2010, Hungary's R&D funding has been increasing significantly. Now we spend 3 times more on research and development and innovation than that we did compared to the year 2010. If we make a comparison as well to the year 2010, the number of people who are working in research and development has been increasing by 2-fold. Basically, now we have more than 60,000 researchers, research and developers in Hungary. 15 years ago, we had around 30,000. And we also increased significantly the number of PhD students in the last 10 years by more than 50%. And what is also very important, that now almost every 3rd PhD student is coming from abroad. 10 years ago, it was 7%. Now it's 29%, almost 30%. Very well developed PhD system. If you look at the details in the European Innovation Scoreboard, then you can see those fields that in which the Hungary's performance increased significantly. We are very happy to see the linkages on the first place. That means that covers the cooperations between industry and academia, and that is one of our strategy goals, to increase the collaborations among these sectors. And as you can see, the attractiveness of our research ecosystem has been increasing significantly as well. What are the 5 most important factors behind these results? What I would like to highlight. First is we have in Hungary a very favorable tax system in order to increase the R&D activities in the corporate sector. That means that we have the lowest corporate tax rate in the Union, with 9% tax rate for companies, and we provide different tax benefits for not just doing R&D activities, but doing R&D investments as well, and employ people with PhD students, with PhD degrees, and also PhD students. The second key element is that we in Hungary have a dedicated fund that is responsible for research and development and innovation funding. We call it the National Research Development and Innovation Fund, which is based on tax revenues that are paid by middle-sized and large enterprises. So basically there is a dedicated innovation tax in Hungary, and that these tax revenues are going to a separated innovation fund that is managed by the National Research Development and Innovation Office, which is the funding agency of research and innovation in Hungary. The third factor is that I already mentioned to you that the number of personnel who are working in R&D has been significantly increasing in the last 10 years, and that is strongly connected to the FDI activities of our country. That means that a lot of multinational companies in the automotive sector and in different sectors have been establishing new R&D centers in Hungary. For example, Bosch, which is a tier 1 automotive supplier, employs more than 3,000 R&D personnel in Hungary. But I could mention ThyssenKrupp and other international companies. The fourth factor is that we are strongly committed to connecting our universities to the industry through different programs. I will not go into details. And the fifth factor is that we have a strategy, an innovation strategy, and we focus our investments in 3+1 focus areas. I will get back to that later. So this is how we see our results and current and the developments of the last years. Let's look at the challenges. Obviously, we have several challenges as whole Europe has. And this is why I should start with the global, or I could say European context, which was very well published or written in the drug report, which you may already, all of you know. And I would just like to highlight 4 numbers here as well, 4 figures. First is that the EU's labor productivity rate, if we compare it to the US, in 1995 it was about 95%. It has been increasing in the 60s, 70s, 80s until 1995. There was a break in that series, and since then it has been decreasing. Unfortunately, now it currently stands at 80%. Second figure is that if we look at the 50 largest technological firms globally, only 4 of them are located in Europe. If you look at the global venture capital investments, only 5% of global venture capital is located in Europe. 52% is in the US, 40% is in China. But not just in terms of innovation, but if we look at the scientific output of Europe, then you can also see that if we look at the year 2007 and we compare our current scientific output, Europe as a whole, it has been decreasing by 7 percentage points. It was at 25%, so the scientific output of Europe globally was at 25%. Now it's less than 18%. So this is the European context in which Hungary's challenges should be examined. What are those? I would like to highlight here 4, and that will that is the place where I will connect to the topic of today's conference, which is STEM or STEAM education. First, that I already mentioned that we have increased the number of researchers in Hungary, but still, if we look at one of the indicators of the European Innovation Scoreboard, which measures the STEM PhD holders in the age of 25 until to 34, you can see that Hungary is still lagging behind. And if we look at the entrepreneurial intentions, if we ask the adult population of Hungary, the question that will you consider to start a new company in the coming 3 years, only 8.2% of them answers with a yes. And this means that in the Global Entrepreneurship Monitor, which measures 46 countries, Hungary's rank is 40. So we still have a lot to do to get our youngsters, to get our talented youngsters to select the STEM, different STEM educations. Second, we have been increasing the technology transfer activities of our universities. You can see on the chart that currently, or last year, our universities, a number of IP applications, or patent applications to be concrete, was 60. 5 years ago it was around 10 or 15, so it was significantly increasing in the last years, but it's still, if we take another look on another figure, which is that we spend more than 300 million euros each year on R&D in our university ecosystem, each year 300 million euros, then the 60 patents and the revenues that are coming into the universities from these patents is still low. The third challenge we face is that the activity, the innovation activity of our SME sector, small and medium-sized enterprises, is still below the European average, as you can see on the chart. And the fourth challenge is that our startup ecosystem and venture capital ecosystem is still underdeveloped. If we compare ourselves to the global averages, as you can see on the chart, there is a significant difference between Hungary's values and the global averages. So this is the landscape of research and innovation. Obviously, we have a very, I would say, attractive or ambitious vision, which is to get Hungary among the top innovator countries by 2040. And through that vision, we define 3 very important strategic goals in our strategy, which is, I already mentioned that we have already very famous Hungarian scientists. We would like to see at least as many in the coming decades. We would like to focus our resources on solving the Hungarian challenges and European challenges of our time. And third but not least is that we would like to establish or strengthen our enterprise sector competitiveness in terms of innovation. You can see here we define 3 subsegments. First is we have exportable medium-sized companies already. We will try to strengthen them as well. We are very much focusing on developing this new technological enterprise landscape, or I would say startup ecosystem around our universities and research institutions. And last but not least, we are also helping the small and micro companies, mostly through process innovation activities. I mentioned to you that we have defined 3+1 focus areas in Hungary's research and innovation ecosystem. First, what we did here is basically we looked at the capabilities and competencies of Hungary's researchers and industrial capabilities as well. We looked at the different global megatrends in technology, and we looked at those topics that are important for the Hungarian and European community. And if we look at these 3 factors together, through that we defined these 3+1 focus areas, which are digital transformation, healthy living, green transition, and obviously security and safety as well. And my last slide will be about this new model we are establishing around our universities. And let me say that Óbudai University is a very good example, because they have all the 3 factors I would like to mention here, which is the technology transfer company of our universities that are responsible for technology transfer activities. The second part or second element is the science parks. We are establishing those physical places around our universities that can be the places of collaborations between academia and the industry. And third factor is we are creating different university venture capitals. And let me say that Óbudai University is the only one currently that has, as a university, a venture capital fund, which is very successful. So these are the most important elements through which we are working on establishing this new technological enterprise landscape in Hungary. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. László Bódis, for sharing insights into the Hungary's R&D priorities. Mr. László Bódis and Mr. Levente Kovács will now leave for other commitments, so thank you for your participation. I would like to present the next keynote speaker. It will Zoltán Márton. I think it's me. Okay. I will share recommendations and for STEAM developments and the key initiatives for shaping education in Hungary and beyond. So, I'm the director of the Hungarian STEM platform, and it's a pleasure to meet with you on this conference. So I would like to share with you some best practice from Hungary and our results of collaboration with Youth STEM Coalition and our international STEAM organization. First, I would like to start with a little thing, but it's a technical issue. Sorry, that's not the okay point. Okay, yeah, this is so. Okay, it's working. So first, the journey of the Hungarian STEM platform is a testament to our unwavering commitment to innovation and collaboration. Since its launch in 2017, we have built a solid foundation in STEM development in Hungary. Key milestones include establishing the platform, hosting the first task force meeting in 2023, and aligning our efforts with the EU STEM coalition through the strategic events such as this conference under the umbrella of EU presidency. These milestones demonstrate our growing influence and commitment to progress. Our platform is a proud core member of the EU STEM coalition, seamlessly integrating Hungary's STEM strategies into the European landscape by collaborating with other national platforms, European members and advisory boards. We ensure that Hungary's voice is heard on the international stage. This collaboration strengthens Hungarian's position in the STEM development while fostering innovation through shared expertise. We have a STEAM office at Óbudai University, it's an internal office, leads and develops international projects such as Erasmus Plus and Horizon Europe project, which contribute the cross-border collaboration and innovation. Our key focus on organizing talent development programs aimed at nurturing young minds in the public education sector. We are working on development of a STEAM curriculum for institutions maintained by the university, ensuring a high quality and practical education. Other side, we have a Hungarian STEM platform. It acts are the national partners of EU STEM coalition because we represent Hungary in the EU STEM coalition. The platform organizes and participates in the national task force meetings to drive forward strategic discussions. Our major goal is promoting innovation ecosystems that bridge industry, education, and government. This is the base of AAA's model. Finally, the platform coordinates the development of STEAM education in Hungary, ensuring alignment with both national and EU objectives. Together, these entities are advancing Hungary's efforts in STEAM education, innovation, and collaboration on both local and international scale. Our mission. First, our a mission to advance STEAM education and foster innovation across Hungary. Second, we strive to build strategic collaborations among education, industry, and government. Third, our goal is to enhance national competitiveness by cultivating a future-ready workforce. By equipping students and professionals with the skills they need, we contribute directly to Hungary's economic and technological development. Next, we aim to promote inclusivity and lifelong learning in STEAM. Finally, we work to connect Hungarian STEM initiatives with the global networks and the partnerships through international collaborations, through EU STEM coalition and knowledge sharing. We ensure Hungary remains on the front of the global innovation. Each of these pillars drives our work and serves as a blueprint for the future of STEAM education in Hungary. We have some recommendations and best practice from Hungary. I have 4 slides for that. First, we have a very good software developer and IT project manager who works on Minecraft. A gamified program teaching renewable energy and smart city concepts through custom Minecraft modifications and simulations, making learning engaging for young students. Or other best practice is Summer Children Universities, which came from 2022. It was the first. It's a hands-on programs introducing children to digital tools and fostering creativity under the expert guidance, inspiring the next generation of innovators. And the National Talent Program, as Rector said, nationwide efforts to expand STEAM education and increase participation in technical and scientific fields, empowering young talents. These programs embody our mission, innovate and make STEAM education accessible to all. Task force meeting. These gatherings bring together experts to discuss STEM or STEAM education developments and foster international networking, particularly focusing on Central and Eastern Europe, because we are the coordinator of this region. They create opportunities for collaboration and shared progress. We have served it in 2023. Today we organized the conference. It's a little bit bigger step of the event organizing. Teacher training, very important. The tools, not enough. We have a mission to change the mindset of the teachers, to fix for the innovative tools and the STEM innovation method. We have accredited teacher training programs which equips STEM teachers with innovative pedagogical methods, enhancing the daily teaching practice and ensuring high-quality education delivery. We have a €3 million Horizon Europe project, EdTech Talents project. This initiative strengthens this between academia, industry, and in Estonia, in Hungary, in Serbia, in Austria, in Spain, advancing educational technology ecosystem through knowledge transfer and strategic partnerships. These are connections because we need to build education tool. We need to train with some methodology the teachers, and together we make a STEAM education in Hungary and in other countries. Sober project. This initiative develops tailored digital programs for children with special educational needs. It equips teachers with the methodologies and the training to enhance the students' basic skills, ensuring no learner is left behind. STEAM Excellence Masterclass. This program provides educators with access to cutting-edge methodologies through international expert-led workshops. DigiTeach project. This initiative promotes the use of open, innovative educational resources to empower educators in conducting effective and engaging online classes, addressing the growing demand for digital education. STEAM Shop for secondary schools is very interesting. These programs engage the high school students in STEM fields by showcasing real-world applications and career opportunities. It inspires participation and sparks curiosity about the possibilities within STEAM careers. International STEAM Festival. This event brings together students, educators, and professionals from across the globe to celebrate and explore innovation in STEAM. And the introduction of STEAM curriculum, as I mentioned. This integrated curriculum focuses on fostering creativity, critical thinking, and interdisciplinary learning among students. It equips them with the skills needed to tackle real-world challenges effectively. Our researchers focus on leveraging digital tools for education, particularly the innovative use of Minecraft for teaching topics such as renewable energy, sustainability, and smart city concepts. These publications demonstrate how game-based learning can effectively engage students and foster critical skills. These publications validate our commitment to advancing STEAM education and underline our contribution to global academic discourse on modern, interactive, and impactful teaching methodologies. We believe in a new STEAM ecosystem with government, with youth STEM coalition, with international experts, with universities in Hungary, with schools in Hungary, with NGOs, and with EdTech and STEAM companies. First, to foster stronger collaboration among a wide range with the stakeholders, including university, industry partners, government, and non-profit organizations. By partnering with youth STEM coalition, we ensure that Hungarian STEAM ecosystem aligns with the international best practices and leverage global networks. This collaboration enhances strategic objectives, strengthens impact, and positions Hungary as a leader in STEAM education innovation. We believe in 14 regional STEAM centers are at the heart of this ecosystem in collaboration with universities and local stakeholders. They act as conduits for addressing the regional needs while ensuring the efficient allocation of resources and support from a central leadership. These centers exemplify the power of decentralized collaboration in creating a cohesive national platform. Strong partnership with EdTech companies, it's very important. STEAM industries and collaborating universities allow to us to develop cutting-edge technological solutions and ensure that industry feedback is directly incorporated into STEAM education. This approach keeps the curriculum relevant, drives innovation, and prepares the students for the demands of modern workforce. Together, these integrated ecosystem represent a shared commitment to innovation, inclusion, and the excellence in the STEAM education across Hungary and beyond. Thank you for your attention. Next, I'm pleased to introduce Mr. Joe Bressa, head of the EU office for the EU STEM platform. He will discuss the EU STEM coalition goals and programs showing how collaboration across the Europe drives innovation in STEM education. So, Bressa, the floor is yours.
Hello, my name is Joep Bresser. I work for the EU STEM Coalition. I'm the manager of the EU office in Brussels, and I also send the regards on behalf of the chair of the EU STEM Coalition, Beatrice Boot, who couldn't be here today, unfortunately. But I am here, and I'm gonna tell you about what is the EU STEM Coalition and what are our goals, and give you a brief overview of STEM education and STEM policies in Europe. So the EU STEM Coalition was founded in 2015. But there is already a longer history of this of STEM education and STEM platforms in Europe in general. In 2000 already, the EU started recognizing that we don't have enough STEM graduates and STEM professionals. And as part of the Lisbon strategy, they set some targets for STEM graduates. And after that, some projects such as Scientix and Ingenious started to promote collaboration between industry and education to promote STEM. But despite the great results of these projects, we felt that there was something lacking, and it was like a deeper cooperation and learning from each other between the different STEM platforms in Europe. And that's why in 2015 the EU STEM Coalition was launched, a coalition of so-called national and regional STEM platforms, but also all kinds of other European and national organizations are allowed to join. We are a very open community, but yeah, basically the core is the STEM platforms, and what we understand to be a STEM platform is a platform that, of course, promotes STEM education. It can be at different education levels, but it's always done in the triple helix way, which means that both government, education, and businesses are involved. And we believe that if one of them falls out, then something is missing in promoting the STEM education. We believe that is the most effective way. Yeah, and since 2015 we have been doing a lot, and we have been supported by the European Commission through various Erasmus Plus projects. So we had 2 projects, and the last one ended in 2023. So this year we were operating without funding. So the Dutch STEM platform took up like a bit of the intermediate funding of the coalition. But luckily from 2025 on, we have a new project again called Cove STEM Europe, where we are going to build a new European knowledge hub for STEM education, and we are very happy with that. So until 2029, the future of the EU STEM Coalition is guaranteed, and we hope afterwards we can find an even more sustainable solution, so we can ensure that the EU STEM Coalition will operate for decades to come. So if you look at our member base, we really cover almost all of the countries in Europe. We are still missing like a couple of them, but we have around 23 member states of the EU that are present, and beyond that we also are active in countries like Ukraine, the Western Balkans, and Turkey. So we really are maybe more of a European STEM coalition rather than an EU STEM coalition. We can maybe discuss to change that name at some point. And here is like, I think the logos are a bit small, but yeah, here is a big list of all the organizations that are present. So it really depends per country, like who joins. Like for example, in Hungary, like there is one national Hungarian STEM platform, but for example, in a country like Germany, which is more of a federal system, then you have also regional STEM platforms, and the same goes for a country like Spain, for example, where it's also more regionally organized. But we always say, like, yeah, it doesn't matter how you organize it on the regional level, on the national level, as long as you have a STEM platform, you should join our coalition. And it's also nice, like that's how you can also learn from each other, because every country does it differently. It's adapted to local context, so there's a lot to learn from each other on how to stimulate STEM education in an effective way. If you are in this hall and you think, ooh, that sounds like a coalition I want to be part of, just contact us, and we would be very happy to discuss like a possible membership if you're not a member yet. So, oh, I was too fast. So what do we essentially do within the EU STEM coalition? We have a couple of main activities. I think a very important one is the facilitation of best practices. So we really share the best practices on our website. You can also find a huge database with best practices from all over Europe on how to promote STEM education. And we also give members the floor during meetings or during events that we organize to share it and maybe inspire. And the funny thing is that this also led to some countries basically either copying an approach from a different member state or being inspired by a program from another country and adapting it and making it happen in their own country. We really don't want to reinvent the wheel all the time. You also need to support and scale up what works well instead of coming up with new ideas and new programs all the time. There's a lot in Europe that already works. Let's learn from each other and make sure to not individually come up with solutions all the time, because maybe another country already found a solution. Next to that, we also provide direct support to the network. So we organize roundtables on different topics that can be how to increase the amount of women in STEM, or how to organize industry, education, collaboration. Really any topic can be. It can also be more sector specific. So for example, a roundtable on engineers or chips. Like we always like to come up with different topics for the meetings all the time. And then we have our task forces. I will elaborate a bit on that in the next slide. And last but not least, I think it's also a very important task of the EU STEM Coalition to make sure that STEM education is just high on the political agenda everywhere, and make sure that both in the EU, but also on the member state levels, governments are putting STEM education on the agenda and are making sure to increase the amount of STEM graduates in Europe. We are very proud that actually also the efforts of the EU STEM Coalition have been recognized by the European Commission. The new European Commission just started 2 weeks ago, but this was all like initiatives and policies from the previous Commission. And we were very happy to see that, like, in many of these communications and strategies, the EU STEM Coalition was actually recognized to be an important, like, stakeholder to be able to implement these policies. So, for example, in the Digital Education Action Plan, the CHIPS Act even, where we were mentioned, and now the European STEM Coalition is involved in quite a lot of European CHIPS projects to increase, the amount of STEM educated people, so we can, like, build more CHIPS capacity in Europe. It's a very important strategic priority for the European Commission. And yeah, we really hope that the next European Commission will again recognize our efforts and include us in the new strategies that will be coming up. I already mentioned, I'm very sorry I made a mistake, so there is the text of the Hungary task force is not the right one, so like, but Zoltán already explained really well the Hungarian task force meeting that we organized in 2023, where we gathered a lot of experts from our network, and together with the Hungarian network, we really discussed on how can we improve, how can we assist Hungary in setting up their STEM platform and STEM strategy. And I think it was quite a huge success. And something similar we also did for the Western Balkans. So we also had a task force meeting there that was like with multiple countries and to discuss the challenges in their region regarding STEM education. And we organized something in Denmark as well, but that is years ago. That was not supposed to be here. So if you are interested in finding out more about the EU STEM Coalition, we launched our new website 2 days ago. We were operating still with like a website from the 20th century, I think. So we updated it to 21st century standards, and there you can find all our members, best practices, publications, events, like, and we really try to cover the whole of Europe. And also it's an invitation to the people here, like if there is any event, interesting publication on STEM education, or best practice that you have from your country, please send it to us, and we will be very happy to include it in the website to get a good overview of all the good things that are happening in STEM education in Europe. Last February, and that's one of the topics we also deal with, is what we call advocacy, a bit of lobbying towards the European Commission. So in February this year, we launched our memorandum called STEM for the Future of Europe, with recommendations on the future STEM policies of Europe, where we stressed a couple of main messages. We always like to stress to the European Commission that they should not invent and come up with completely new policies, because as shown by the richness of our coalition, there is already a lot of good programs on the national level and the regional level. And it's better to link to those and to be able to upskill that infrastructure and those networks instead of coming up with completely new things. So that was one of the big points that we made, and we also really see that like every local context is very different, and that's why we hope that initiatives of the EU are bottom up, are flexible, so they can be adapted to the regional reality. I think that is what's probably the most effective. We called for an approach to inclusion that's like promoting more women in STEM, of course, but also other disadvantaged groups that might now not choose for STEM education. And so, for example, people from a disadvantaged socioeconomic background, how can we also help them to choose for a STEM study? There are a lot of other very good points which you can find on the website in our memorandum. And we are quite happy actually with, and we will also talk a bit about it in the panel that will be taking place after my presentation, but we were quite happy with the new policies and the new challenges that were identified by the new European Commission. And also by Mario Draghi, also known as Super Mario in Brussels, who was the former president of the European Central Bank. And he really made a wake-up call to Europe, because he said, we are not doing very well in Europe on competitiveness. We're losing the battle to China and to the USA, and we really need to step up our efforts. And one of the big challenges he identified was, there's really like not enough STEM people, STEM educated people in Europe. We're really missing out compared to other parts of the world. So we really need to step up our game. So that's why he identified some challenges, and he also proposed a couple of solutions to improve STEM, which, for example, like include more STEM in the curricula at primary and secondary education, implement programs to support children that are talented and want to go for a STEM education, integrate these interdisciplinary approaches, also just attract more highly skilled workers from other parts of the EU, make it more easy to come from a country in Africa, for example, to pursue here a STEM study and pursue a STEM job here. And he said all this, he wrote a big 400 pages report about it, and the new European Commission recognized these challenges that he identified. And when you look at the mission statement of the new European Commissioner for Skills and Education, you see that one of her big tasks is to develop a STEM education strategic plan. So it's really, we are quite happy to see that STEM education is back on the top of the agenda of the European Commission. And we are very happy with this news, but now it's also, of course, about implementation and the content of what such a plan is going to entail. So we are curious what's going to happen in the coming years on STEM education in Europe. And I think it would be nice to talk about that a bit more today. So what's next for STEM in Europe? And yeah, we will talk about this further in the first panel that we are doing today. That was it for me. If you have any questions, come to me during the coffee break, and I'm happy to answer all of them. Thanks for your attention. We do a short break now? Okay, that's fine.
We rescheduled the program, and before the panel discussion, we have scheduled a short break. It will be the 5 minutes break, so please don't drink a coffee or go for a long walks and go to the mountain and see. It's just a 5 minutes break, okay? For the best panelist. Thank you. Inez and Gultakin would like to go to the restroom.
Okay.
We move to the first panel discussion on R&D, STEAM developments, and university networks, moderated by Mr. Joe Bressert, Panel Futures. I would like to introduce our panelists. First, Ms. Milena Krumova from European Institute for Technology from Bulgaria. Nice to meet with you in Budapest. Ms. Ines Podgaiska for Association for Nordic Engineers for Denmark. Nice to meet. Professor Dr. Gültekin Kakmaki for Hacettepe University from Turkey. Welcome in Hungary. And from the STEM platform, Sándor Kirchhoff, who is the IT project manager of the STEAM office at Óbudai University. Please welcome our panelists. So officially the first panel discussion will start. Please, Job, the floor is yours.
Yeah. Welcome, welcome all of you. I'm gonna start with where I ended my presentation before the break. So we see that Europe has a lot of challenges in STEM education, and yeah, I just want to ask you as a starter question. Yeah, what do you think are the key challenges in STEM education? Also, for example, with the experience from your country, and how can we maybe start addressing them? And I'm starting with Ines from the Association of Nordic Engineers. Yeah, what are your views on this?
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Yeah, you have very difficult question because you put two questions in one. So, about the challenges, I think as long as Europe will consider STEM competences as purely a matter of education policy, we will have a problem. Because today, what we really don't have in Europe is the efficient methods to anticipate STEM skills, which means that we don't have granular data and about STEM jobs. So it's related to labor market. We don't have information about STEM professionals' mobility, and this is why quite often we have a STEM talent brain drain. We think that STEM competencies should be clearly linked to industrial policy, because we need firstly to identify what is the demand from the industry sector, and this is what we don't have today. We have an aging workforce, meaning that we have more people from STEM field going on a pension than the new talents entering the job market. We do have a lack of investment in research and modernizing of our infrastructure, meaning that we have outdated research ecosystems. And then we have a scattered single market, which makes life for startup and innovation very complicated, especially in the phase when they want to commercialize their outputs. And the last thing, we do have very little investors in the deep tech technology. And one of the reasons is because they cannot take risk because they don't understand technology. So there should be some STEM professionals working alongside investors to make sure that they invest money in deep tech development. So I will stop here.
Okay, thanks a lot. So that's like a couple of the key challenges. I will come back to you later also, like maybe with some possible solutions from the report that your organization just published. But let's now move to Gültekin, and also the same questions, like what do you see as the main challenges, also like coming from a Turkish perspective, of course. So like I can imagine that you have also like an opinion on how Europe is doing in this STEM education, and how the collaboration is with Turkey in this. So I'm curious to hear your views on the challenges.
Maybe I can answer this question based on 2024 Nobel laureates in economics. Darren Ajamol and James Robinson. Their book, it's must read a book. The title is Why Nations Fail, The Origins of Power, Prosperity and Poverty. The main outcome of this book and what they say, inclusive institutions are the key in Europe. Maybe in your presentation you focus on EU STEM coalition. The nature of EU coalitions is the inclusiveness of this fact. If I try to answer from Turkish point of view, if you look at the refugees issue, we got 5 million refugees in Turkey. We welcome them actually. Not any other country did that. What we learned, we learned a lot of things from them actually. So what we learned, the toughness, the background is very important. When we look at our rector's presentation was very impressive. Also, our guests from the ministry. There is not a correct direct relationship between Global Innovation Index and talent, or achievement, or skills, or knowledge. So we need to be careful when looking and analyzing the data. The Global Innovation Index says you don't need to be a talented or a high achiever to be an innovator. The risk taking is very important. That's why the refugees issue is very important. They are taking risks to come to another country, but we don't look at their background and look at their Mario's report. If you check, it says we need to acknowledge the minorities and underrepresented talents, and these are the very important factors for cooperating to the Global Innovation Index as well. So the main, starting from this, what are the challenges for EU, but the inclusiveness, and from your question, it was, my background is engineer. One of our professor told us, if you see a challenge, you would be happy. If you see a problem, you would be happy because you're the engineer, you are gonna solve it. So in your question, I will ask what kind of opportunities we have. We have many challenges, that's good. We have many opportunities as well. The opportunities you mentioned, we got best practices to share. But there should be interaction among stakeholders and academics as well. I think I should stop here. The problem about the challenges, main challenge about EU has got lack of evidence-informed long-term policies on STEM education and innovation. So if I'm challenging you, everybody here, let's ask ChatGPT or AI, saying what should be the next goal of the EU, and you can ask what should be the next STEM education plan for the next EU plan now, and when it's released, just compare it. If it's a match 80%, we have a problem. We have EU is the challenge and problem about EU policies are EU has got conservative plans, conservative policies. This is the problem. We need to have bold, visionary policies that addresses our problem in next 30 years or 40 years, not just now. Thank you very much.
Okay, so you want the EU to be bold and to take some risks. That actually also aligns with what you previously said. Take more risks. So thank you. I will also come back to you on maybe some potential solutions. But now I'm moving to Milena Krumova. She is the director of the European Institute for Technologies, Education and Digitalization, and she is CEO of EduTech Flag. And I'm curious to hear from your experience, to hear about like the Bulgarian challenges in STEM, and since you're also the director of the European Institute, maybe take us also along with the European perspective in this.
Thank you so much, first of all, for the invitation. It's my pleasure to be here. I think that, first of all, we have to think pragmatically on STEM. And one of the biggest challenge on my point, it is related to curriculum. Because currently educational system in Bulgaria, and I believe in other countries, it is knowledge-based. Students are learning in order to know. So the learning objectives are related to what the student know, and they, of course, are assessed based on their knowledge. And now we see that a lot of energy is pushed in STEM without having formal framework related to the learning process. So this is one challenge related to formalization of all the efforts. Another challenge is related to how STEM competencies will be assessed. Because assessment, on my point, is as much related as the learning process. Because we put so many financial resources, so many human resources, so many materials and so on into inspiring our students. And what is happening if the assessment is not objective, if it is not correct? On the second point related to challenges, I would say that we have to integrate more industry into the learning process. So the educational system have to be bigger portion of lecturers from the industry. I do not know how and what is the situation in Hungary or in other countries. I didn't did such research, but at least in Bulgaria, at the educational system, it is almost 100% lecturing by lecturers from the institution. This is important because of STEM awareness related to job, what the student would like to work, or even much earlier related to the dreaming of job of students in high school. So what we are doing at the European Institute for Technologies, Education and Digitalization, we published a STEM journal. It is very good artifact about what the teachers in high school are doing in Bulgaria. This is very good example because in STEM we do not have only speaking, we do not have only networking, but we have an artifacts about what is learned. And we stimulate teachers in high school in Bulgaria to create STEM museums in their schools. Because every education, this is another challenge. Almost every educational organization has a place where it is exhibited different medals and certificates and so on. But for example, art schools are very good example. They have conferences every end of semester. And during the conferences, students are demonstrating their work during the semester. So in STEM learning, there has to be time for demonstrating artifacts, what they have learned. And finally, to conclude about the challenges, this is involvement of family. Because we know that family support is a very key issue in the learning process. Yesterday we have a small discussion with the person from the Ministry of Culture, and he said about his 7th grade daughter that in school actually students are learning a lot of theories, and they do not have time to demonstrate what they have learned. And something very interesting that he shared, and I truly believe in this. I asked him what your daughter would like to work when she grown up. And he said, it is not so good, but she want to be a writer. And then I asked him, maybe her teacher is very good in literature. And he said, yes. So if you would like to have students to dream STEM jobs, we have to have an excellent teachers. So this is the final point of the challenges that I can share.
So teachers involving more industry in the education, I heard as very important challenges and points to work on. So maybe we can also hear from the industry perspective later on from Inés on how we can stimulate this industry education collaboration. But let me now move on. Thank you very much to Sandor, and Sandor is the IT and software development manager for Óbudai University and for the Hungarian STEM platform. And yeah, I'm curious to, like, you have been working at this platform for some time now, and what are your first observations on what are the key challenges in Hungary to promote STEM education?
Yes, thank you. Welcome everyone. I haven't been too much time involved in STEM education and the field of STEM. I have only been working here since September, but as you asked, I think one of the main issues we have right now is that we are talking about STEM, we are talking about digitalization. This whole direction is very technology based, and I have to ask the question, are our teachers ready to work in this industry? Are they ready to teach this STEM way? Because it's very hard, you know, to be interactive, hold interactive sessions, to use digital technologies if you have never been taught on how to use them. Because for younger people, it is, you know, they grew up surrounded by IT, surrounded by computers. However, our older teachers are not, and this is a very big issue. And what we are doing is we are organizing teacher training sessions, and in these sessions we are teaching teachers how to teach in STEM orientation and how to use digital tools like Mentimeter, Kahoot, and all these sort of platforms that we all know, but I'm not sure, or we are not sure that everyone knows how to use them, you know. So this is, I think, one of the main issues right now. And the other issue, which is not really IT related, however, is that we all know about STEM. We work in STEM, we are always trying to improve STEM, but do the students know STEM as well? Do they know why it's good? Because right now, most of the time when I speak with a student, they have never heard about STEM. They don't know what it is, they don't know why we teach it, why we should teach it, and why they should learn it. So we are working very hard on raising awareness around STEM, but not just in the teachers, but to the students as well. So I think these are the two main issues right now, but we are constantly working on improving these.
Okay, so I hear again already now from multiple panelists that teachers are central in advancing this STEM education, and they need to be empowered and to increase the knowledge of what you can do with STEM and what potential jobs you could possibly have. And yeah, I know for a fact when I was in education, I also didn't have an idea on STEM. So yeah, how can we improve this? And I'm coming back to Inés, yourself from industry, and the Nordic Association of Engineers released a report called Competitiveness Through STEM Talents. Yeah, and I'm curious, like, what do you think are solutions for improving STEM education, and how can also the industry play a role in this?
Firstly, you represent actually trade unions.
Trade unions, yeah.
Not
yeah.
the industry, but we work closely with industry, so it's okay to say. And I mean, we are also from the Nordic region, the Nordic model. Not to brag about it, I know, and the rest of Europe don't like it so much when we talk about Nordic model. But Nordic model actually provides this fundament for the cooperation between different stakeholders, industry, academia, social partners, and the government. This is why it is kind of in our DNA to work across and find the solutions. But I think when we know now that European Union really has a focus on competitiveness and strategic autonomy, with actually a voiced already idea that on the 15th of January, the European Commission will present its competitiveness compass. Our report points out that this compass, without its needle, which is STEM talent, will really experience navigation failures. What does it mean? It means that STEM education or STEM skills has to be highly prioritized on the EU political agenda. If we only leave the ministers of education talk about it, we will do business as usual. Soft coordination methods bringing us nowhere. So our report says that we have to put it on the agenda of heads of state, because when they meet, they talk about competitiveness and strategic autonomy. So how can you talk about that and not talking about STEM competences, who are at core of that? Another thing is, we have European semester. Some in European institutions would say this is a graveyard of all initiatives, just put it there and everybody forgets. But the thing is, still it puts an obligation on member states to report. And STEM competences have never been a part of education and lifelong learning in the reporting mechanisms. And this is completely wrong. So in order to monitor how tendencies change over time in STEM occupation field, you need to have a monitoring on this on a regular basis. Another problem we have, STEM is regarded as one entity. So in a way, you cannot make and analyze and monitor trends if you don't look at the letters individually. So you don't have patterns, you don't have the correct data. Another solution about how to have scale up of startups. The 24 allies of NATO, they actually have a capital venture fund where they allocated €1 billion for technological development. Maybe European Union should really look into it and do the same. In Denmark, now when the government is proposing a new defense strategy, some of our colleagues, both from industry but also trade unions, advocate for allocating 12% from this budget to the technological development, research and innovation. And this is again how the business and industry could do something about it. And then member states have to realize one thing. If they don't invest in research and innovation, there is no technological development. And this is why every member state has to put more money in that. And the last thing I wanted to say is that we have a huge problem in European Union, it's around harmonization. So for the startups who drive the innovation in EU, and if we really want to look at them as the ones bringing us at the same level as USA and China, then we really need to relax the intellectual property rights. They are so complicated that startups, when they bring their products to the commercialization, stuck with the problem of intellectual property rights. So this is the sum of the solutions that we voiced in the report that we published last week.
Thanks a lot, and I think it confirms like that you say like it should not be just about education, but it's also working on research, on harmonization, on employment policies, and making sure that basically STEM gets mainstreamed in the whole of the EU through the European semester. So we have a lot of work to do. I think that's also the conclusion. Yeah, maybe one last question to you. Like you already mentioned the model of trade unions and industry and government collaboration, this Nordic model. Are there any good practices or solutions that we can take from the Nordic countries with regard to STEM education, which can inspire other member states or can inspire the European Commission?
But if we look at the Chalmers or Aalto University, Chalmers in Sweden and Aalto in Finland, they have a very well established industry university partnerships. I think you need to go on in their website and to see what they are doing. In terms of school education, where actually everything starts, the Danish Society of Engineers have a very well established project where main stakeholders are big industries like Lego, Ørsted, which is windmill company, and so on, who put their money so that they can change the didactics in the secondary school education, bringing engineering as part of mathematics and physics education. Not only that, this project also allows students or teachers in schools, if we need to blame teachers, but I don't think we should blame them, we should blame the education system. So the mathematics and physics teachers, they can book an expert, a real person who is already in employment that can come to the mathematics or physics courses and talk to students about what they do, being a role model, because this is what actually young people need to see to relate who is already there and which kind of profession I could choose in future. So I agree with you what you said in your keynote. It would be so good if European Commission should really stop inventing new initiatives, but look across what is there and make a repository of good examples. That would be really helpful.
Great, that's something we will take with our conversations with the European Commission and emphasize that again and again. Gültekin, I also wanted to learn a bit more about the state of STEM education in Turkey. What are there successful strategies there that Europe can learn from? And I know that you are highly involved in the maker spaces and labs, and is that an example that we can take up as well and look to Turkey on how you are doing this? So curious to hear your views.
Yeah, we have best practices and some practices that doesn't work. Let's say we have science centers for there are two issues here. First, we need to encourage young children to pursue their careers in STEM. And if they do, let's say these university students in the coffee break, I talk with some of them. What about those? Are they happy? How they can be encouraged those? There are two things here. In Turkey, what we do to encourage young students, Turkish Academy of Science are funding some projects like science fairs or competitions or summer camp and others. The best part about this, they're giving a platform for scientists or CEOs or startup companies. So there's a role model, direct interaction with students. It's quite effective, if you ask me. And but on the other hand, we have some science center and science and art center which are for gifted students. And it's all around Turkey. Every city has got a few of those. But it's not, as I said, we don't need to just focus on the gifted students or talented. There are some other talents and there are some other students. We need to focus on them. And we should invest some of these for them. So these are the things maybe we should think about the European point of view. From today's panel, we are focusing on STEM education and innovation, but we need to understand what innovation is actually. We don't ask this question, what innovation is. So innovation is just EU is giving up some funding. Innovation needs some money, by the way. As you said, there's more money. It works. But the procedure is not like that. Let's look at one call in EU call. And I read your rector also got this ERC funding. It's very impressive CV, by the way, your rector has got. And imagine, anybody applied ERC funds? Even to apply, you are getting summer school to write the proposal. It's very competitive. Imagine Einstein applied this call. Do you think he would get it? Impossible. Just headache. It's not. This is not the way that we need to give the funding. So asking the question is not just about this. We need to think about how innovation works. When I was a visiting scholar at Stanford University, and Google came to our professor and said, "We are going to give out some money. Please give some ideas." And then he sent us email, said, "We are going to give ideas to Stanford, to Google, just write it down." I just wrote half page and then emailed him in 2 hours. He emailed Google. It was 1 page. The second page was our CV, asking for 5 million, by the way. And then the day after, they responded. I said, "Oh, it's a good idea, but we just last year, we funded similar project with 20 million. So it should be work like that. If your rector asking funding, we don't need to ask, what are you gonna do? I don't care about the proposal. He has already proved himself. Just I will give a few million euro, saying, you can do whatever you like. That's it. So we need to think about the innovation. We have just bright brains from Turkmenistan. Yes. We were discussing with young person in the coffee break. So I really like his idea. Just give some seed money, and he will take those in the practice and how innovation works. And the problem about EU is trying to create a Silicon Valley ecosystem in Berlin, in Germany, or in Italy, or somewhere. It doesn't work like that. You need to, its innovation is context related, cultural related. You need to create your roots, create this ecosystem. So it gives some confidence. Nordic countries, very interesting example. We need to look at it. As I said, Darren Ajamola and James Robinson is referring to Nordic ecosystem. The Nordic ecosystem is not just focusing on, well, maybe the first question we should ask, what's the why STEM matters? Academic called David Laborie from Stanford University says education has got some aims and we should focus only one of those, mainly. One of them is economic arguments. STEM education is mainly perceived as public goods that serves the private sectors. When we talk about skills, education is not providing skills to industry. Education is rather democratic argument saying we should educate a young generation to create a healthy democracy. And in this way, STEM education is mainly perceived as public goods designed to prepare public to more active and participate citizenship to participate in democratic arguments. This is what actual Nordic countries are doing. We need to think about it. When you got this democratic society and inclusive society, in the future, automatically it's put effort in the innovation ecosystem. The third argument is social mobility argument. In this way, it's mainly perceived as private goods for personal consumption. So a guy from Turkmenistan is coming here to educating himself to change status, becoming a researcher. So what I'm trying to say, we need to, when we analyze and give funding, we need to look at the theory as well, a background, not just McKinsey or Gartner hype cycle or whatever. We need to understand what does it mean actually. And other part is that about in the first question, we need to look at our roots and about history of Europe actually. We need a EU identity for those students. Oh, thank you very much. So.
Thank you, Gultigin. Yeah, give a bit more freedom, I understand, and also invest in STEM education, also for democratic purposes. It's going to be important, the digital literacy, how to be a citizen in a more digital and technological society. So it's also important for our democracies to invest in this STEM education. I'm moving to Milena. I also want to ask you about, you identified the challenges before, but I'm also curious, like you are the director of the European Institute for Technologies, Digitalization and Education. I'm curious, like, what solutions do you see coming from Bulgaria, and what can the EU learn from this?
Thank you for the question. What we are doing in support of knowledge sharing in Bulgaria, we are organizing National Smart STEM Conference, where teachers from high school and from universities are presenting their work during the school year. It is very good space and time because according to Bulgarian regulations and the Ministry of Education, if a teacher has a publication, he earns a credit point, and this impacts his or her career. So the teachers are motivated to come to the conference, not only to share knowledge, but through sharing knowledge, they have advances in their career. Also with my company, EduTech Flag, we are organizing national contest. It is since 2017, and it is called Who is Super STEM in Your School? Up to now, more than 3,700 students and teachers have been participated. It is very interesting contest. After the contest, we publish a book. A book is called STEM Students Project. And this book includes all the projects from the students that they have worked with their teachers. It is also very efficient sharing knowledge because they buy a book and they learn from each other. And on the next year, my impression is amazing because I see some students that are participating, for example, 4 years in consequence. They are becoming more and more confident in what they are doing. And another thing is networking, because we have example how students from one school are working with students from another school. So this is a very key issue, knowledge sharing. That's why I think investment into the STEM libraries is the core of STEM education. Because as Sandor said, the students do not know what is STEM. And I do not know what is the situation here at the university about the library. If there is literature in STEM, if we open Amazon, we see that there are wonderful books. So in Bulgaria, and what we are doing with my foundation, ATET, and my company, we try to invest in the libraries. And students, not only students and teachers are buying the journals that we are publishing. Up to now, we have 23 published journals with more than 200 published papers that are published by teachers. And we know from the practices that teachers are well in teaching, but they are not well in publishing research. And yes, the journal is open to publish a paper in Bulgarian in English. It is also registered into the National Center for Documentation and Data. Also, and I will finish with this, I'm impressed by the Bulgarian teachers because they cite each other. This is advancement of and visibility of their inspiration. So if we come to the point when teachers are learning between each other, we did a good job. So this is my point. Thank you.
Congratulations. So, like, we can learn something from Bulgaria on how to inspire and help teachers with advancing STEM education.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Great. Sandor, I wanted to also ask you, like, I think already in the presentation, of course, like a couple of the projects of the STEAM platform were already mentioned, but yeah, since we collect also with the EU STEM Coalition, like these best practices, like, did you observe any that the EU can learn from in the months that you have been working here?
Yes, we organized, as Martin already mentioned, we organized summer camps, and the theme is Minecraft. I have to ask, how many of you know about Minecraft? Yeah, see, almost everybody. And well, what we are doing is we have developed a custom version of Minecraft, and we teach about STEM-based topics like green energy, programming, security, and all these kind of topics. And we use Minecraft as an educational tool, because gamification, in essence, is the core, I think, or we think, to address the students, because if they enjoy the process of learning, then they are more keen to remember what they have been taught. So just to give you a quick example, we are talking about the 11 to 14-year-old students who come to our camps. And in the morning, we asked them, and they didn't know anything about how windmills and wind energy works. We taught them in theory in the morning, and in the afternoon, in an online server, they all joined together and they built realistic windmills. And the next day, we asked them, what do you guys remember about wind energy? And they, word by word, repeated everything back to us, and they understood it. They learned how energy works in a day without even taking notes. So this is one of our key developments. And also, we have Solar Project, which is addressing students with special needs. It's also a game-based platform. Everybody can check it if you go to solarproject.eu. We have a bunch of built-in exercises, and we actually developed a full year curriculum. So basically, if you're interested, then you can very easily incorporate this into your curriculums as well. So we try to approach education with gamification, because as I've said, if students enjoy it, they might not even realize that they are learning. And you know, this is the key to raise awareness around STEM, I think.
Thank you so much. That's a positive note. Use the gamification, make STEM fun. We're out of time for the panel, so I'm just gonna thank all the panelists for their inspiring mentions of the challenges, of the solutions that we might be able to work on in the coming 5 years. I think it's really nice to see STEM high on the EU agenda, but I think it needs to be filled with content, and I think like all the panelists really contributed to this, give some ideas on what to work on in the coming years. So give them a warm round of applause. Sandor, Gultagin, Inés and Milena. And I will give the word back to Martin.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you for the panelists and Bressa for your insight of the European STEM initiatives, your focus on the partnerships, and inspiring reminder what we can achieve together via EU STEM Coalition. So, the time has come to go drink valuable coffee. After we go back with Think Young organization. So we have a 20 minutes coffee break. after we go back for the conference. So the time has come to connect with each other and do some networking work. So thank you. everybody came back from the conference room from outside. Yeah. We're waiting a few minutes. So welcome again in the conference room. Our next program point about the program sheet is Spotlight section. Please welcome Julia Louisa Cerritti from the Think Young Brussels. And she is a project officer of these organizations. And her colleague is Aitana Gomez Peinado, who is a communication and project assistant of Think Young Brussels. Their topic is advancing a global STEAM innovation and inclusivity. I'm so curious about their presentation. So welcome on the stage, Julie and Aitana.
Hello, everyone. Is it working? Yes. Can you hear me? Okay, great. So first of all, thank you so much for having us. We are very happy to share how we at Think Young are reshaping STEM education. But first, I will introduce myself, and then Aitana will take the word. My name is Julia. I'm a project officer at Think Young. I work on different topics and different fields. Mainly digital, STEM education, and culture. And I'm very, very happy to be here.
And I'm Aitana. I'm part of the communications team, but I also assist in many projects, so I help Julia and my colleagues with it. So today we're going to show you how us at Think Young, how we do STEM education and with and for young people. We will talk about some of our research, educational programs, and campaigns, and why we believe that tomorrow's inventors, STEM champions, and educators should work together to build a better community on our digital future, how to make opportunities for everyone, and be better overall. So, founded in 2009, Think Young is a think tank focused in young people. We're a team of 21 people with 4 offices around the world. Our main one is in Brussels, but we also have one in Geneva, in Hong Kong, and in Nairobi. We conduct research on millennials, Gen Y, Gen X, and soon Gen Alpha. And we deliver programs and run advocacy campaigns on issues that matter to young people, so mostly to us. This is in short how we work at Think Young, how we also deliver impact. So our work combines both research and impact programs. Since 2010, we've conducted social and behavioral research, not for profit, but because we want to understand and address challenges like bullying, school dropouts, or STEM participation. Research is carried out through surveys, focus groups, and data analysis. Impact programs were added in 2015 to bring the research results to life, where we organized conferences and campaigns and set up education programs. Our work is supported by many different partners, depending on the years or the projects that we're working with. We work with foundations, corporations, governments, and public institutions. And we have also partnerships with organizations and associations such as the EU STEM Coalition to amplify our impact. And as we mentioned, we carry out research in different fields and on different topics. For example, since 2012, Think Young has been exploring the connection and gaps between the skills of the young people and the demand of the labor market. So we're talking about people between 18 and 25-year-olds. One key step of this research was the Skill Mismatch 2, STEM in Europe, that was published in 2014 in collaboration with Intel Corp, and this is how we got in contact with the STEM Coalition. This research was essential in building the coding schools, which you will learn more about now.
Let's see if it works. We have a video. All right, this was the presentation of our Sorry. Okay. So this was our presentation of the STEM school we did in 2023 in 2023 in Ethiopia. As Aitana was mentioning, we have a lot of schools that were built on what was the results of the research on the skills mismatch. So since 2011, we organized almost 60 schools with different formats, from entrepreneurial schools to coding schools and STEM schools. And we involved more than 10,000 students. And the good thing is that mostly half of them, 50%, between 50 and 60%, were girls, which is very good data. And we had so many different type and formats, from 4-day schools to 45-day schools. And this was the main reason why we managed to do schools in 50 countries in Europe, Africa, and Asia. So, but we don't only do schools and research, we also have campaigns. So when we work on in our daily life, we often ask ourselves this question, and I would like to ask it also to all of you now today. How can each one of us in this room can make a difference for young people? This is our main driving question in our work every day, and it's a difficult one, I know. It's not that easy, but we try to start from here. So how? First of all, we need to listen and value young people's experience, opinion, perspectives, and second of all, after that, we need to create the spaces for them to share that perspectives, to learn new skills, to tell their stories, to involve them into the conversation. And this is one of our campaigns that we try to do to involve young people as much as possible. And next year will be the European Year of Digital Citizenship in 2025. And for us, this is a moment when we can turn everything we're saying today and in previous conversation into action. And how? Basically promoting digital literacy which is something that all of you do in your daily work, but also alongside digital literacy to champion also digital safety and digital citizenship in order to build a better, safer, more inclusive future for young people in STEM education, but also in all other sectors. So, as I was mentioning, this is our campaign, our Feed Our Future. It's a campaign that brings together a network of young people, experts, and parents, educators from across Europe. And the idea is to rethink online spaces and make them safer and more inclusive for young people. So we want to make the youth voice heard and to help them to shape a better digital future. So that's why we think that young people need to be the front and the center when addressing every challenges that also Yupo was mentioning before. For example, digital literacy, you were saying. And this is our manifesto. We have it online, but we also have some hard copies here, so it would be great if you want to take a look and we can share it with you. It's basically all we have been working on to create safe digital spaces. And this is how you do it, the launch of our Feed Our Future campaign.
We are the first generation to grow up online. That's where we create, that's where we run our social lives. That's where we show the world who we are.
We share our highs, our lows. We grow up with selfies and share our life through our stories.
We support each other. We build each other up and fight for what is right.
Life online made us who we are, but it's not all perfect.
Some use online spaces to spread hatred or bully others.
The online world has shaped us.
And now we are shaping it back.
We found a network of young people across Europe to rethink online spaces. We believe there must be new and better ways to protect young people online.
We're going to speak to online platforms and governments about how to improve things. It's time to make online spaces a better, safer place for all of us.
This is our fate,
our future.
So this is our way to involve young people into the conversation to build better regulations for all of us in general. And this is why we're also working on an upcoming white paper that will analyze the statistics and trends on the internet usage of young people, especially teen from 13 plus years old. And we will focus on platforms such as Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, but also messaging platforms such as Discord and WhatsApp. The idea is to set a foundation to evaluate existing regulatory frameworks and then to propose a clearer roadmap on how to, first of all, harmonize the regulations between all the EU member states, and also to understand what are the challenges that young people are facing, especially in regards to child safety online, which is an issue that we have been seeing is very relevant and kind of difficult to tackle at the moment. If you think, for example, on the issue of age verification and scammers, child pornography, and this kind of stuff. So what we did for the white paper, we involved young people. So we did 3 sets of focus groups with them. So we involved people from 13 to 26 years old, and we asked them about online, their life online, and what are the positives and negatives of social media platform, what are the challenges, and what government should do, and us as educators and government could do better. And these are some of the things that they said to us. So maybe we can read a couple of that. So for example, a girl told us, I really think you should educate the young users from a young age, meaning people don't know how to use digital platforms since the beginning. So they just go into and register on the platforms and they don't know anything about them.
Also, someone else told us, when parents are more open-minded about the problems that are online, children are more open to go into them with problems. Parents' understanding about online safety directly affects how safe a child is online. That is why also we're now with the second phase of our Fair Future, we're involving parents because we think that they're a big part of the solution. So we want to hear not only the young voices, but also the voices from the people that are in charge of them in the daily basis.
Yeah, and for example, another one told us that a big thing that can be done is allowing young people in the room for conversations with governments around these topics. So that's why we're trying to push as much as possible their perspective and their ideas. And we are currently now collecting feedbacks from stakeholders like yourself, for example, to see what you think about this, what young people said to us. So if you would like to share something with us later on, we'll be happy to hear what you have to say on this. And so basically this is a bit of what Think Young does. So from our research to our informal education with our STEM and Coding schools and to our campaigns. So we do a lot of different things with the aim of innovating a little bit education and to ensure inclusivity for all of us and all of the young people. So these are our contacts if you want to reach out to us later on during the lunch break or on our website, on our emails. Feel free to. We're very happy to keep knowing new people and collaborating with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Joyla and Aitana. You are the really good examples of the STEM girls, how we can engage the girls into the youth STEM ecosystem and how we can build women-powered STEM developments. So thank you. Our next panel discussions will be start soon. Before I would like to introduce you the member of this panel discussions. The moderator will be the Dean and the Associate Professor of John von Neumann Faculty of Informatics from Óbudai University. Dean with a talk with Johan Stoll from Sweden, Project Manager of Technical College, Peter Presser from Vice President Kindred Collaborative and Hungary South Africa from Hungary, Rita Fellner, Associate Professor and Director of the Institute of Cyber Physical Systems at the John von Neumann Faculty of Informatics, Óbudai, Hungary, and Gergő Lencsés, who is the President of Dual Training Council of Hungary. So please welcome to the stage. One.
Welcome everyone. It would be a tough thing to me, in my opinion, as being a moderator, because usually I'm a panelist. But I saw many times how other people do this job, so I'm trying my best to perform today. Welcome to my esteemed panel members. And first of all, I would like to ask you to introduce yourself. 2-3 sentences, please.
My name is Rita Fleiner. Rita Fleiner, I work here at the faculty. I am the head of the Cyber Physical System Institute, and I'm also a dual training coordinator here at the faculty.
Let's see if it works. It does work. So I'm Peter Presser. I lead the collaboratives for Kyndryl in Hungary and South Africa. Kyndryl is a services company of about 80,000 people. We have about 3,000 colleagues in Hungary and about 300 colleagues in South Africa.
I usually say that I'm a retiree. Retired from 30 years of engineering, manufacturing, really making world-class machineries. And now in one of my gigs is being the president of dual education here in Hungary.
Okay, my name is Johan Ståhl from Technique College Sweden. What Technique College is that we accredit technical and industrial education. So a little bit talked earlier, we are part of the Nordic model. We are owned by the employers organization in Sweden and the labor unions in Sweden regarding the Swedish industry.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it can happen because of the number of the microphones that we should share some. Okay, we have prepared some questions for you today, and the first question related to one of my favorite topics, translational education. I have never heard such a composition from the dual sense, so I'm really curious myself as well. For all panelists, please answer in a sequence, but ladies first. So first I would like to ask Rita to answer. Can you share with us some success or significantly, how to say, big success about working together with the industry and the education, collaborations between universities and companies, about experiential learning?
Okay, so industrial affiliated departments play a significant role here in our university in bridging the gap between academic education and the need of industry. These industry-affiliated departments mean a very strong cooperation between the industry and the university. It's a strong cooperation, strong and very coordinated cooperation. I am responsible for the Deutsche Telekom industry-affiliated departments here, and I can tell you some words how we work together. So the representatives of this company take an important role in the design of our curricula and also in developing the structure of the subjects, developing the course materials, and also in the teaching part they participate. So, for example, when we introduced the big data and business intelligence specialization at our faculty, we invited them to participate in this work, and they did with us this process from the beginning. And in the beginning of the teaching, they taught some of the courses. Nowadays, mostly our colleagues are teaching the courses because in the meantime they got to know those topics that are very close to the industry. They also helped us to find what kind of technologies we should use. For example, they suggested us to use the Databricks platform in teaching big data systems. It was a very good choice because it has a free version for students, so students can use this system free, but it is also very widely used in the industry. So through this, the students gain a lot of knowledge, skills, experiences in technologies that are used outside in the companies, in the industries. 2 years ago, this company suggested us that we should introduce a DevOps course because there is a shortage in it, they felt, and they participated in working out the topics, and also they are teaching this course now completely, and it's a very big success among the students. We regularly present them our research topics, and we try to identify common fields that interest both parties. And in this semester, we received access to their cloud system, and we can use this possibility to move our research development system into the cloud. So I find this partnership and cooperation very fruitful, and also the students gain a lot from it because they gain knowledge which is not only theoretical and academic, but also very useful in the industry.
Thank you very much, Rita. I cheat a little bit. Since as a faculty leader, I would have the chance to follow this collaboration, fruitful collaboration. I can strengthen it quite closely. Please, Peter.
Does it work? It should work. Okay, good. Well, actually, we run one of the other faculties for the industry. We mostly focus on mainframe technologies, cloud technologies, applied AI, and cybersecurity. Where I see the biggest benefit is that most of our clients are either enterprise commercial clients, major airlines, logistics companies, banks, or public sector like the Danish government. Where these all unite is that their problems are real business problems or business challenges, not IT challenges. IT is just something that they have to have. They don't necessarily like it. It's typically somehow sectored under finance, and it's just a small department. They have business challenges that they want to solve. And through the dual studies, both on a university and a secondary school level, we can actually show students that life, though their skills may be very essential to those businesses, is mostly revolting about business challenges. So they can see how technology eventually contributes to a company's success, to a company's challenges, and we can kind of link real life to their academic studies. And also during the course of their dual studies, they can actually touch and feel the technology that they learn about. Many of our students in mainframe, for example, do not know that 99.8% of their card transactions are going through a mainframe. They still think this is an abstraction, like a big box in a corner, and it's not sexy at all. Everyone wants to learn cloud and AI and DevOps. In fact, many of the world's infrastructure still runs on mainframe. So again, this has been something where we started really small with a couple of students, and now most of the lectures that our colleagues do on the Székesfehérvár faculty is actually full. People are sitting on the steps as well. So I think this is something where, again, real life and IT or academic studies can get closer together.
Thank you very much.
So I was thinking that what I would tell when I saw this question, but now it popped to my mind that in my past job, one of the biggest technological success we developed with this university, a very different way of machining exotic metals. So finally, not IT and computers and neural networks. So innovation is there too, with new materials as well. And we have seen what they just shared that before. So we brought into the walls real world problems. So that was very important. We earned a lot of money. And by the way, I'm telling this story as my biggest failure as well, because later on, we found even better solutions. So at the end, it costed us $35 million. But that's the cost of innovation. Innovation always comes with big risk, and failure is part of the process, not just risk of the process. So yeah, that's it. But when we are all telling great stories, I think, especially in Hungary, we can and we should do way a lot more than what we do today.
Thank you. And just say from a Swedish perspective or from Teknikcollege perspective, we always go in with the mindset that STEM competence and STEM skills are business issues. They're not necessarily, so we use the education sector as a prime provider But the core question, this is a business issue. So that's where we start, and just to foster those partnerships with companies is always start with the company's need, what's in it for them, and start building the relationship from there. And we're a national office, we work in 24 different regions in Sweden. Sweden is a large country regarding distance, but have the population similar to Hungary. So it's both large and small at the same time. So we need to cover a quite distance with what we do. So we work in region, and we work very hard with the regional perspective, the regional nodes, to create this collaboration. So I think that is one of our part of success, is being near the companies, near between the company and the education. There can be upper secondary, there can be vocational training, there can be University for Applied Sciences. This is where we primarily work. And what we're also trying to do very much is triangulating, as we said, the education, the industry, but also we work very close to the municipalities and the regional governments, because they are very much, not on university level, but every level in the education system is run by the municipalities. So we need to work close to them. And also, as we said before, this is a business issue. It's the interest of the municipality to have companies that stay there, that grows, that flourish in their municipality. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Really interesting approach. So, just to be sure that I understand. So you identified the whole education problem, I mean practical education problem, as a business issue, right?
Yes.
Really interesting. Just moving to the second question about the dual education programs and how these programs have to bridge between the gap between the theoretical knowledge and practical skills, but Johan just answered it. Can you say a few words in this regard? I mean, more few words, concrete examples? And we can start with you in this second question.
Yeah, if we talk about vocational education, different paths in vocational education, they come quite naturally. So what we are focusing on doing is within the, if you look at upper secondary education in Sweden, you get the vocational training, and then you got what we call theoretical programs, except towards the technical side and towards science. And we work hard that we want those to be the dual part. You need to not just learn how to make a CAD drawing or visualization. You need to take that to the mechanical shop. You have to put it through the CNC machine. You got to feel the material. You got to practically find out the tolerance that I've been calculating on. Is that correct? Not just a digital visualization, but doing it. And if we have to do that, we need the companies to foster the new generation of engineers in the next step. So one part of what's in it for them.
Thank you very much. Gergő, do you have any words?
I basically just kind of echo what Johan is saying, and I really like how he's saying, making it business problems. At the end, whether we like it or not, most of European universities are pretty much paid by taxpayers, like myself, right? So you really would like to have students coming out who would be a good citizens of those kind of neighborhoods that they were grown up and they were educated by. So I really like the idea of regionalities. That's why I'm talking also in the dual education training programs, where I see universities are center of gravities in that region, connecting academia and business problems, connecting resources, skill and talent to the problems, and we hope that that region will flourish. That's what really happens. The kids, and sorry to call them kids, my apology, I'm just way too old. They are learning their craft at real problems. And that's a real, it's a treasure that you can do that. Yes, what does a certain tolerance mean? How does it feel, right? An age 5 tolerance, how does it feel? Is it something rough? Is it smooth? How to read the document? Very important skill that we don't think that we need to teach that skill in the walls of the academia. So, yeah, we see that. We see those kind of companies who take this program seriously. They have significantly better better performance on growing their business in the region, and we also see that they can retain those technical talents for long term, and later they will be the business leaders as well. And maybe they will live on those kind of things that they have invented 20 years ago. We see that many times, that those people who invented something early in their career, later on 10, 15 years, that would be one of the main product of the company. I started like that, so that's why I'm so invested in this. When I graduated in the university, I already had 2 global patents. And not because of academia, but because the company wanted to keep that as a secret and make sure that our competition wouldn't really copy that.
Really interesting. Peter, do you have any comments?
Well, we have a lot of practical appliances of that, because we actually do that every single day with the dual study program. But to give you a very specific example, we are integrating demand and supply, or creating a forum for demand and supply. What we see is that, for example, cloud technologies, many of our clients are like, hey, we want to do something with cloud. We don't know what it is. It just sounds so sexy. So we want to go to Azure. We want to go to AWS. And also the students are like, hey, I want to learn Azure. But in fact, the actual box software or the solution by default is not necessarily something that you can use. It's not like Spotify. Everyone consumes the same way. Cloud is consumed very specifically for that company or for that industry. And we need to educate the clients in many cases that, guys, this is not the right solution for you. We can probably give you advice on that. And also the students can see that, hey, it looks so good in theory, but how it's really consumed is absolutely different from what you learn. So again, we are kind of creating that forum for real appliance of those technologies, and a bit of a sneak peek behind the curtains, both for the clients and for the students. And I think this is really invaluable. And for us, it creates a great appetite for both sides to work with us. So that's a good thing.
Thank you very much. And this is, in my opinion, how we should do it. Because if the industry does not say what the industry wants, then how can the academia figures out? Rita, any comments?
Yes. So I am the dual coordinator here at the faculty, and I see very closely how much the students gain from this training program, but I also see the challenges, and I would like to tell you some words about it. So the companies usually accept only a few students as dual trainingships, and from this reason we have to keep contact with a lot of companies in order to accept more students from our side, and this requires a big coordination and administrative effort from our side. To keep relationship continuously with the companies. And the other here in Budapest, I have to admit that we have not too many dual training students, because the companies in our city like to accept more students for their own traineeship programs and not to these dual training programs, because they feel that they get more freedom. I mean, the companies feel that they have more freedom if they use their own programs, they use their own recruitment process, they own timing, they own workflows. This is different in Székesfehérvár, which is a smaller city, and we have a campus there as well. Because it's a smaller city, there is a much stronger coordination between the university faculty there and the companies. In Székesfehérvár, a big portion of the students are dual training students. And this comes also because the city leadership, the local government there encourages a lot the companies to get into this relationship with the university. And actually by now the companies realize that they gain a lot from these dual training programs, and they like to accept students, and more company want to get into this relationship with the university. So it's an interesting point, I think.
Thank you very much. A specific question to Johan first. How does Technicollege in Sweden foster partnerships with companies? What are the role models, good examples?
But I might repeat myself again, but I think what we do, we always try to be close to the company, keeping the education and the companies very close together, doing things together, and as you said, starting what's in it for the company. Of course, look at the education system. You have your curriculum, and that might differ from upper secondary, well, further on to university, but there is always, well, at least in the Swedish perspective, parts that you can adjust, parts that you can twist, parts where the company says, okay, we want to work with that software or that kind of machinery, that kind of material, so that we can make this duality within the education. So I would say that, and also, as I said, Sweden is a small country, the population. We have quite large industries, and we are very dependent on exports. So a lot of our companies are competing on a global market, and yet the skill and the competence, it's a local and a regional question. So we have to keep the universities, the University of Applied Sciences, the upper secondary school, the advanced vocational training, close to the companies where the companies are. Sometimes we drink very much coffee with our companies, spend time with them, discuss with them. Yeah, coffee is very Swedish, but it's coffee. You spend time, just as I said, what's in it for me? What can I gain as a company from this? And of course also, what can I give? The companies also have a responsibility regarding the education, the new young generation entering the labor market.
Thank you. It's really interesting to me. And maybe you have some personal experience, what about the different industries, but what is our experience as a faculty here in Budapest, that of course, except Székesfehérvár and esteemed partners Kindrill, but here we experience that informatics industry, on which our faculty is on, basically, the dual education is not in the focus, unfortunately. And we always try to figuring out that how can we solve this issue, how can we make it more attractive. On the other hand, that even though the companies who are settled here in Hungary do get basically on a yearly basis many support from the government, both in the manpower as well, because the Hungarian education system, I mean, It's a strong system, even though. And more or less, that's true. It's free for these kind of companies. And dual education would be a really good thing for us, but we should somehow, and maybe you can help us, Johan and the other panelists, can somehow enlighten these facts. There is a big governmental support because the government pays the education, and the companies not as much as they should do. Maybe Gergő would like to reflect, but I have a specific question to you as well, but you can reflect, of course.
Yeah, you asked a very important question, and I would like to reflect to what Johan just said, because I have been competing with a Swedish company on the global market. Basically, my team was absolutely the dominator in the global market, but in a small segment, we couldn't really beat, and we couldn't even come up with a strategy to beat that team who designed and manufactured everything in Sweden, 5 kilometers from a university. All right, so this is the regionality is a real global powerhouse. So what we typically do, and this is how we should think, is that every country, every company try to be part of the big global supply chains. There is a lot of ideas that we should stop thinking in countries and in regions. We should start thinking in global supply chains and whether you can be part of it or not. And I promise you I'm answering to your question, okay? So most of Hungarian-based companies, their headquarters are not here in Hungary at all. What it means, their general managers are not those general managers that we had in Hungary, those kind of tales that the great general managers with a lot of gravity and a lot of business mindset. These guys and gals just operational leaders. It means their mindset is short term. A Swedish company is thinking, or that Swedish company I was competing against was thinking that how we will be competitive 10 years from now. 10 years from now, where the puck is going, I start to skate where the puck is going, not where the puck is. The problem in Hungary is most of the company leaders, okay? Not everyone, but most of them are short-term focused. And this is what you feel in the universities, that they don't want to be part of your education. They just want to solve their short-term workforce and resource problems. That is the fundamental problem. So, you're asking what kind of carrot I would give them. I wouldn't give them many more carrots. They get a lot of carrots from us, from taxpayers. Okay? It's not the government who gives them the carrots, it's us, the taxpayers. All right? I would give them the stick. All right? You need to be a good citizen, right? As a person, and as a company as well. And I don't think I should explain that in Sweden, that you need to be a good citizen as a company. Living in a capitalist world, but you need to be a good citizen in your society. And that's part of that you are giving back. And what would be the easiest way to be part of education? And that's the fundamental problem. Right now, it doesn't matter whether someone in Hungary, I'm talking about Hungary, whether you're in dual education, yes, some companies recognize that it's so well funded that it's brilliant for them, okay? But even if someone is a student, you still don't have to pay any social security contribution, no personal income tax. It is so cheap labor that it's shocking. But the student is not a student. The student is just doing some very low-level job at most of the companies. All right? There are great companies there that I take my hat off, and we should really praise them. But what I see is right now, from 300,000 students who are being in the higher education, there are a little bit more than 2,000 who are in the dual education. Having said that, there are more than 4,000 applications. So it's not really the universities. The universities are really stretching themselves, right? What you just said, that basically a company per two dual education students, right? And you have a lot of dialogue with them. On the other hand, there could be students who are willing to do and put way a lot more than twice as many places they have. So, yes, I'm tough, but don't forget, it's not always the carrot, sometimes it's the stick as well.
I can agree with you, I can say. And yeah, Johan, please.
Yeah, the question earlier, and I would like to also what you said, Jerry, we find that there is a difference between different companies. If it's own, in our case, if it's a Swedish company, regarding if it's a global country with just a site located in Sweden, it's often easier to work with a Swedish-owned company. It's easier to work with a company that's family-owned, for example, because they usually think on a longer term. It's not the next, it's not Q1 or Q2 that's top of the mind. They might be 5 years or 10 years ahead. Given, of course, that there are differences, but at some aggregated level. And next, we also experienced that there is difference between different parts of the industry. We have our best collaboration, I would say, one with the automotive is a very important thing regarding Swedish industries. We do very much with it within automotive. We also try to work hard with the SMEs. It could be a little more challenging, but if we look at our typical company that we do collaboration with, I would say that would be a mechanical company, 30, 40 employees, something like that. We do find, and I don't know if they're very comfortable with you, but the IT informatics sector is a little harder to find the dual system within compared to the other parts of the industry, at least from a Swedish perspective. And I don't know if that's because it's compared to the other industry branches a newer, yeah, we have base industry in automotive. We've done that for 100 years. The IT sector is still compared to that new, even though it's been around for 30, 40 years on some sort of industrial level. But so hopefully we're working a lot with, we do these collaborations, it's much about empowering the teachers, empowering the educations, but also very much about empowering the companies. What can you do? What can you demand? What can you expect back? It's a lot of coaching around asking the right questions. So if we'll be here again in 5 years, I would hope I'll have some better news regarding informatics and the IT sector.
In the IT sector, maybe we should put together a big development environment, a big dev env in order to have a place for practicing. And the time is running quite fastly, but this is a really inspiring talk, in my opinion. I have a question to Peter, but before my question, I have a mission. Rita knows it very well. I have a mission that now our engineers, on an average basis, maybe it is not true at Székesfehérvár, but it's true according to the company partners of us, that our engineer who is accompanied by a given company, an employee of a given company, can provide value from the second years. I want to make this 6 months now. This is the challenge, what we need to do. Maybe it can have some insights for or ideas for Peter in his answer. But from an industrial perspective, what are the most critical skills, most wanted knowledge from the university graduates, and what are the most important skills what is not there now in a lack, basically?
So let me zoom out a bit and reflect on Gergő's stick analogy. Fortunately, we work for a carrot, so I'm safe, kind of. And I can run fast. Right? But the thing is that we actually talk with our competitors. We have an association for the multinational companies in Hungary. And many of the complaints about dual studies and any kind of investment is that this is an explicit investment from the company. Some can afford. We are lucky enough to be a pretty new company and we can afford. Some of our competitors cannot because they are operational companies in Hungary. They are multinational. Their budget comes from somewhere else. So this is the hard reality. Another piece of harsh reality, though, is that Hungary is not competing with the region anymore. It's not Slovakia against Hungary. It's not Romania against Hungary. It's India against everyone else. And we need to face that harsh reality. The thing is that all the things that Hungary ramped up on, big volumes, quick turnaround, lower middle tier skills, it's all gone. It's either here or it's in India. And whatever comes up as new business, it all goes to India by default. So where we can differentiate ourselves in Hungary is niche skills, specific skills that they wouldn't find big or small volumes in India because companies do not invest. There's a pretty big turnaround. The average attrition in India is 25%. It sometimes goes up to 70%. The industry attrition in Hungary is 12%, so less than half. And that's a big, big thing. Where we can differentiate ourselves on an industry and on an educational level is investing in skills that are either sizzling hot and brand new or do not even exist today. 8 years ago, if you wanted to be a DevOps engineer, everyone was like, what's that? 5 years ago, you couldn't learn AI engineering or applied AI. Now you can do that. This is where, again, we need the curiosity of the academic students telling us that, hey, this is something that's interesting. This is where I want to do my research. This is where I may see a glimmer of hope for applied technology. And this is where they should really be curious about and learn about. I cannot tell what happens in 5 years in technology. No one can. But again, having the fundamentals and being curious and seeing what's going on in the industry firsthand and really going to the companies trying to learn whatever is out there and maybe going a step further is something that we want to build our identity on. I think this is what we should build our identity as a country on, and the STEM platform is great for that. Dual studies is a great vehicle for that, and this is how we can survive, essentially. I mean, probably it's not the most sophisticated message, but this is where we are.
Harsh words and harsh reality. That's what we live in. Rita, what do you think? What role do universities play in ensuring sustainability of collaboration with companies?
Okay, so luckily I have a couple of good relationships with companies, and important points that I see in these collaborations is the communication. The communication should be regular and open between the sides. And also it's very important that both sides should mutually benefit from the cooperation, and they both should see the advantages of this cooperation. Then if a company comes up with a new idea that how they would like to follow this partnership, or they would like to start something new with us, then we have to be open and flexible to find a place for this new cooperation in our workflow and in our environment. I find it also important. And another thing is this alumni program. We should have a strong alumni program with our former students, because they are now working in the industry at companies, and if they have good memories about us, about their years here at the university, then they will become good representatives in building relationships with us. Yes, these are the points.
Thank you, Rita. We made a quick meta communication with Zoli about how many minutes left, but I guess 3. So a quick question to all of you in a sequence, and then I would close the session in order to save everybody's time. The question is, how can these collaborations, industrial collaborations, support sustainability and foster innovation? I really do like Johan's perspective about maybe we should explain somehow to the companies that it's basically a business issue and a given specific business model should be put together. I don't know, I do like this idea. Johan, please.
Well, I think if we can foster those dual systems, and I would just like to respond a little bit to that Rita says about the students, they're very important. If you get the students that have done a dual education out in the companies, our experience that we are more likely to link them to a new dual system or have a more deeply cooperation, because we have persons in that company who knows what this is all about, knows what they have gained for professionally and regarding their knowledge within their field of expertise. Innovation, or from a Swedish perspective, as we said, Sweden is often ranked as a highly innovation index on different rankings. And what we're trying to do now is, of course, to withhold that position. So what we're trying to do is actually, we need to train young people from quite early age in the concept of innovation, in the concept of creativity, so they know how to do an innovation process, and they've done it many times. So when they leave the upper secondary school and start to, they've done this, they know what to do. They can take that process and use their new knowledge that they learn at university further on. If that ends up in a new company based on new innovation, or we'll talk about some incremental innovation within existing companies, we're fine with both. But I think if we talk about innovation, innovative competence, we need to start early to build it, foster the students to believe in their own innovative capacity. And the only thing to do that is try to bring back to the dual thing. They have to learn it in theory and have to do it practically. They have to fail, they have to succeed. They have to make their theoretical sketches, they have to build their innovation, make the prototype, make it physical. If you talk about innovation, that can be done physically, of course, or at least a beta version if you're talking about different program solutions. So that's what we do, and we do it very much in collaboration with the companies. Many of the companies have questions that, yeah, we need to look into that, but we don't have time, we don't have money. Give it to our students, help them with mentoring during the process, and we can train them to be as good as possible within innovation and innovation capacity.
Thank you. Gergő, what is your opinion? Maybe getting back to the core idea about sustainability and in this collaboration, or maybe joining Johan's idea?
Yeah, I would like to reflect on what Johan said and what Gutkin said. What is really innovation? And I think we have a fundamental misunderstanding of what is innovation. Innovation is that where in human sciences we call from the lab to the bed. How you can translate the knowledge of what mankind has to practicality. On many, many fields, we know way lot more than what we apply on a daily basis. Actually, sometimes we invent technologies for the sake of inventing technologies. We don't even know what will it be useful. My favorite is frickin' blockchain. In my last year as a global vice president, I have signed a $3 billion contract on a piece of paper. Blockchain okay? All right? So we have Dogecoin, we have Ethereum, and those kind of things, and we really don't know what is the current daily utilization of technologies. Let it be human sciences, let it be IT sciences, let it be whatever sciences. And that's why I liked that you said, what is the business problem? Actually, we have way a lot more solutions than really well-defined and touchable problems. So how we can bring it closer? Just going back, what is really the problem we tried to solve? What is the critical thinking, right? How we can, and solving a problem, you can solve a problem in 3-4 different ways. There is no good or better way to solve a problem. Did you solve the problem? Did you solve the problem earlier than anyone else? And that's not how our education works, because in our education, we give a question and there is only one correct answer. In reality, we give a problem and there can be 4 different solutions for that. So I think we need to talk about what is the role of higher education in the 21st century, because I can tell you teaching is not anymore, because I can learn mathematics and programming from YouTube, from some crazy Indian guys, way a lot faster than in your courses. I know that because I thought I'm a retiree, so I will go back to the school, and I didn't. So I'm coding again with the help of YouTube and ChatGPT and these kind of new tools, right? So I think that's what we need to talk. What is innovation? Regionality. And by the way, what Ines just said is that, can we please stop these kind of initiatives and start to focus on problems?
We got our stick, I guess. Peter?
I tried to use the minus 4.5 minutes that the 2 guys left me from the 3, so. No, I really want to be short. I think sustainable innovation is not operational. So you cannot instruct someone to innovate. It's more of a culture thing. You need to create that culture on a company level, on a common ground, that you're encouraged to innovate. You have the space to innovate. You are even pushed to innovate. We try that occasionally. It doesn't really work. So I think it's more culture, and establishing a culture and nurturing a culture takes time and effort. And this is what we need to realize together, companies and universities alike. You need to create that culture that not only one answer is acceptable for the best grade, not only one way to achieve a solution may be the only acceptable. It may be ugly and dirty, like a hockey goal in front of the net. It's not the nicest, but it's still a goal, right? So this is where we need to foster the thinking of university grads that, guys, you need to get from here to there. If it's faster, if it's uglier, but eventually gets you there, it's still fine. But that takes patience, and again, I think it's more of a cultural thing than something that you can teach. You can create that environment that people eventually will innovate because they feel safe. It needs to be a safe place as well.
Thank you, really eye-opening thoughts. Thank you. Closing remarks from the panelist, Rita.
So I would like to mention the importance of interdisciplinarity here. We could use the relationship between university and industry to bring together experts from different fields and work on interdisciplinary innovations together, because I think this is very important now and it will be even more important in the future. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rita, and thank you, Zoltán, for allowing us being here and having us here.
I think don't need any closing words because we have given it from the panel. So thank you for your participating, and please stay here because I have some gifts for you and I would like to take a picture. Our closing remarks, sorry?
No, I just want to thank our panelists for being here. Thank you.
Yeah, so we have 2 minutes, informal. So as we close the event, let's reflect on what we have achieved today on this conference. We have seen how R&D, dual education, science networks, and global challenges are connected. Many organizations are involved, but and we all share the same goal to meet to 21st century challenges with a modern technology-based, technology-driven education. This requires a teamwork across governments, academias, organizations, councils, and platforms, like a STEM platform, like national platform, new ecosystem. So we have a work. Together we can shape an education system and prepares the future, I think. Thank you to all speakers, panelists, members, participants in person, online to be here. I think it was a very good event of our new journey, and it led be the first beginning, and I think we will meet again for 1 year, and this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning of many new collaboration. Before the end, please join us for networking lounge in dining area. Take this time to connect and continue the conversation from today. After, enjoy your travel, and thank you for your time, and thank you to be here. It was a pleasure to meet with you. This not was the last. We will meet again. Thank you. Goodbye.